Welcome to the Tourism Victoria County podcast. Your host is Tom Wilson. Today's guest is Mr. John Summers, Executive Director of the Tourism Division with the Nova Scotia Department of Tourism, Culture and Heritage. John is here in Cape Breton along with his Nova Scotia tourism team for the Let's Talk Tourism Forum, a series of 7 forums across the province of Nova Scotia. John, how's the forums been going to date?
Well, this is only our second one out this run, but we were out in the spring. And we do surveys, and we were actually very pleasantly surprised about those evaluations. We got a very, very positive response from people that took the time. And, you know, it's no secret. We always hear, oh, there's no input to marketing, there's no input to product development, and yet I think Glenn McDonald raised a good point today, and that is that, you know, industry also needs to take some responsibility for engaging with their regional tourism industry associations, with their RDAs, their municipalities, and with us as well. And there's a lot of information available, and, you know, we're a very open and transparent department. I mean, I don't know of any other department that is so intermingled with industry. So this is our second one this time, and we're going to do 7, and this is one of the means that we were engaging. I was sitting around a table, you know, half an hour ago with a woman who was saying, like, you should listen more to the small operator because we spend more time with customers than, say, larger operators do, which, you know, I think is a plausible argument. And I'm saying to her, we're here. This is what we're doing. This is what we're talking about right now. You telling me about how European travelers seem different to you than say, domestic or American travelers. So we're here doing that. And, you know, from the last round, our surveys were very, very positive.
One of the points that Chrissy brought up earlier was in her presentation about the sort of the state of tourism right now. She indicated that 75% of the people are more interested in travel reviews when they go to a destination area than actually the marketing of the destination area. Do you want to comment a little bit about that?
I don't know if that's ever not been the truth in any business. I mean, people's direct recommendations from people who you know whose opinion you trust have always spoken louder than advertising. And I mean, people are increasingly bombarded with advertising. There's no doubt about it that people are used to processing advertising. Excuse me. So I don't think that's really anything new. What is new is that the internet provides a way to facilitate that conversation in an extremely efficient way, whether people know each other or not. So you have things like TripAdvisors. I still believe that marketing, and when I say conventional marketing, that means internet marketing these days, I believe that does a lot to, and while we need to adapt our tactics, I think it's still very important to drive people to online resources. I think it's still a way of interrupting people's normal flow of consciousness so that they at least think about Nova Scotia.
Speaking about internet marketing, I know about 2 years ago the province announced at that time that they were going to merge with a partnership with check-ins and do an online booking system from novascotia.com. Can you tell us the status of how where it's at right now?
Well, that's moving along. It was a very complicated RFP, and it took quite a while to actually negotiate the contract. The province, of course, owns the brand name Check-In, so it's sort of 2 parts of our own operation. We contracted out to Blue Ocean contact centers, but we own that asset anyway. So it's a matter of building tighter integration with the booking engine and integrating, and that's coming along. There's still a lot of distance to go on that front. It's a very complex project, but our intent is to get to an all-encompassing tourism information machine or engine, if I could put it that way. So that, you know, it's hard to say where the trend with online booking is going to go. We can help facilitate it, but as more and more properties become e-marketing savvy, they can do that themselves as well. We're happy to facilitate whichever way the customer wants to go, but I think the real opportunity is in connecting all sorts of information. So at the end of the day, booking properties, that's the how of travel, and people will find a way to do that. And we're probably ahead of most of the destinations in the world in our capability there now, and maybe behind a few cutting edge ones, and that's not a bad place to be. But the bottom line is we really need to focus on the compelling reasons why people choose to come here. We spent a lot of time today talking about accommodations and the trends in supply and demand. That kind of almost sort of obscures the fact that people are not traveling here to sleep in a hotel room.
John, could you briefly summarize the tourism trends for the upcoming season in 2009?
Well, I think the main thing that the industry is waking up to is that it's about compelling experiences and not about people coming here to sleep in hotel rooms. I think when one of the trends that we're seeing is has to do with people's time pressure. That there seems to be. Well, we know that Americans and Canadians on average aren't using up all their vacation time. They don't have as much leisure time, and so perhaps shorter vacations. I think perhaps more frequent, but I think when we look at what's happening in the market, excuse me, that's not entirely clear. But I think the big pervasive trend is the internet and the ability for people to easily find out about stuff that they're interested in.
Just one last little question. I know this has been a really tough year for tourism with the economy going everywhere, with the gas prices, the problems with the stock market and everything else. What steps is your department taking to get ready for the 2009-2010 tourism season?
Well, a big part of it is in sessions like this throughout the province. We're looking very carefully at where visitors are coming from, the sort of bang for the buck that we believe we're getting with our various promotional tactics, and where we're investing in product development projects. And so, that's coming together in our planning process. We also work with the Tourism Partnership Council in that regard, who are an advisory body. So they're a good sounding board for us. And in sessions like this is a great reality check. And we come here and we say, we're looking at this trend. We think that this is where the market's going to be a couple of years out. What do you think? What are you seeing? And so that helps shape our view of things as well.
In closing, I'd just like to thank you, John, for this interview and for bringing your team to Cape Breton to talk about tourism. All the best in the remaining Let's Talk Tourism forums throughout Nova Scotia.
Okay, thank you very much.